Welcome to the Hormone Hub, your go-to source for the conversations every woman in her 40s and 50s needs to have. I'm your host, Kylie Pinwill, your nutritionist helping you navigate your way through perimenopause, menopause and beyond so you can say goodbye to the endless fatigue, unexplained weight gain, hot flushes, PMS, mood changes and more that come on this hormonal roller coaster. If you missed the memo or think this is only for women of a certain age, ladies, it's time to think again. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of my latest episodes, which are released every week. Share it with your friends, your sweaty sisters. The more we talk, the more we help each other. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hormone Hub. Today, we are going to talk about getting a good night's sleep. So this is a really common thing that I hear about from women in the Facebook group, clients, and it's something that, I have to really watch as well. So if you can't sleep at night, you're not alone. While sleep is so essential for our health, it can also be really elusive. And it's often one of the first signs and symptoms of perimenopause, and naturally quickly followed by exhaustion, fatigue, and it can also last well beyond menopause. And, let's be real here. Did it ever actually come back to normal after we had kids? And today I want to have a look at why you're struggling to get a decent night's sleep and what you can do about it. So when we think about sleep, it's one of the fundamental building blocks towards health. Okay, so clinically, poor sleep's been shown to increase the risk of weight gain, blood pressure, cardiovascular disease. It can affect the way we perform at work. We get that brain fog. Naturally, we're more fatigued. It can contribute to more hormonal imbalances. It can accelerate the aging process, be a precursor for diabetes. It can create mood swings, anxiety, depression, it's fun times, hey? Now, while sleeping tablets and even antidepressants are commonly prescribed for women who are struggling to sleep, this might help with short-term relief. But really, to make a lasting change and to, get that good, deep restorative sleep that we need to have a look at the underlying causes of why we're waking up in the first place. Otherwise, it's going to be a constant struggle. So let's jump in, shall we? All right, so some of the most common reasons why you can't sleep at night. So first up, we've got hormonal shifts. So if we think of our body, every major process in our body working in cycles. So from short-term cycles such as, our blood sugar regulation, that's, pretty much happens straight away. Then we've got our 24-hour circadian rhythm cycle. We've got our longer monthly reproductive cycle. And yes, even if you are no longer menstruating, if you've been through menopause, if you've got some kind of contraception that you're using and you're not having a monthly cycle, you are still having a monthly cycle. You don't have to have a period to have a cycle. And all of these cycles are interconnected. So when one of these cycles is disrupted, there's a cascade effect. So for example, if we have too much sugar, this can disrupt our sleep and then that can disrupt our reproductive cycle. Now, during perimenopause, it's the reduced progesterone levels that affect the quality and also the duration of our sleep. And in men, the dropping testosterone levels has a similar effect. Now, sleep can also be disrupted by stress and our adrenal function. So for so many women, stress is a daily challenge. We take on, we've got work, we've got relationships, we've got kids, we've got partners, we've got financial pressures, and this constantly adds up. And this leads to that, and I've talked about this, 100 times, and I'll talk about 100 times more, this chronically elevated cortisol levels. So cortisol is designed to come in a quick burst and give us that fight or flight response. But when it's chronic and it's chronic daily stress, it leads to this long-term elevation of cortisol, which disrupts our circadian rhythm. So cortisol is naturally meant to spike early in the morning, and this is so we can wake up refreshed and energized, ready to go. Then our cortisol levels should naturally drop throughout the day, and then melatonin kicks in and this increases. It makes us sleepy before we go to sleep. So when we are sort of in this chronic stress state, it flips this whole situation around. So cortisol remains elevated into the evening, and it doesn't allow melatonin to kick in. So this is why we get that, we're really tired, but we feel really wired at nighttime. This is why a lot of women get that second wind at night. So we really want to make sure that we're in bed, on our way to sleep before that second wind kicks in. And then finally, what happens in this chronic stress state is cortisol drops through the night. And that's why, we have trouble, we feel so tired in the morning and we struggle to get out of bed. Alongside stress, we've got anxiety, nervous tension, this impacts our sleep. And, this sort of triggers our nervous system to always be on. So again, leaving us feeling tired, but that wired feeling where we can't sleep. Now, obviously, we've got our hot flushes, our night sweats, and, this is one of the most common disruptors of sleep and, probably one of the most annoying. So during sleep, our body moves through different phases or levels of sleep, and then any disruption to these phases, like an unwanted thermic event or a fancy name for hot flush, it causes the body to come out of these phases. And this is what gives us that chronic insomnia, night in, night out, because we can't relax into those sleep cycles. Now, hot flushes come from that drop in estrogen. And, this is a natural thing. It's a natural transition for our body to start producing less estrogen. And this is where sort of our production of estrogen moves away from our ovaries and our adrenals kick in and start to produce estrogen instead. So what we want to do is to reduce the impact of, hot flushes and night sweats. We want to stimulate this natural sort of process. But the thing is, if our adrenals are already prioritizing the production of our stress hormones, it's going to be harder for us to overcome, those night sweats. So that's just something to bear in mind. Stress, it all links back to how well we manage our stress. Okay, so another thing that can keep us awake at night is getting up for the loo. So this can come from simply drinking too much liquid in the evening. So we want to if we're aiming to drink 2 litres of water a day, which we should be, we want to aim to, finish this up mid-afternoon. Okay. Now, over 50% of women over the age of 50 also suffer from some form of urinary urgency or incontinence. So if you're having to get up more than twice during the night, this is going to interrupt or disrupt your normal sleep cycles and make it harder to get back to sleep. So if you're waking up, once is one thing, but, if you're waking up more than once during the night, I can highly recommend a visit to a pelvic physiotherapist for help with this. Okay, and then finally, another, thing that we'll look at today is restless leg syndrome. So this is where if you've got it, you're lying in bed and then you're asleep and your legs will just kick around on their own and wake you up. So it affects around 20% of women during perimenopause and menopause, and it's really common. Now, there's lots of causes of restless leg syndrome, but, quite commonly it's a nutritional deficiency. So it's always worth getting your iron checked because low iron can be linked to restless legs. Certainly magnesium can help, either supplements or topically, so, rubbing oils and stuff into your legs, as well as zinc and B vitamins as well. But, iron's sort of the key one there that we want to check out first. Now, please do not supplement with iron unless you've had your blood levels checked. Too much iron can be just as detrimental as not enough. This Hormone Hub episode is sponsored by The Well-Balanced Woman. If you've been on a hormonal roller coaster, feeling bloated, your digestion isn't the best, and you're sick and tired of feeling lethargic with your weight creeping up, then this is the right program for you. I'm right there with you across the 12 weeks to hold your hand, and I'll give you a loving kick up the bum if you need it. The Well-Balanced Woman is your personalised 4-phase program created to help you regain your energy, balance your hormones and fire up your metabolism so you get the results you're after. The link with all the details is on our show notes or over at kyliepinwell.com/wellbalancedwoman. Okay, so what can we do for a better night's sleep? So first up, let's balance out your blood sugar, because when we get that, waking up at 2, 3 in the morning, it can be due to a drop in our blood sugar. So our blood sugar drops and our body, as a safety mechanism, wakes us up. So what we want to make sure is we are including some protein, some healthy fats, and a small amount of carbs with your evening meal. Okay, this is going to help support your blood sugar through the night. Now, next off is switching off your lights and devices. Okay, so blue light is notorious for interrupting sleep patterns, but actually it's all artificial light, has the potential to influence our sleep patterns. So, ideally we would wake up with the sun, look at the sun first thing in the morning, and we would go to bed when the sun goes down. Now, obviously this is not practical for modern life, but we can mitigate the impact that artificial light has on our sleep to an extent. So things like, dimming your lounge room lights, for about 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime. Switching off the TV, stop scrolling on your phone or tablet, ladies. That's the worst thing, is just that, because you're constantly stimulating your brain by flicking, scrolling through your phone. Or if you absolutely can't resist, turn down the brightness at least, or switch it to night mode. Okay, definitely keep your phones, your devices out of the bedroom to avoid that temptation to scroll through at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, the amount of requests I get to join the Facebook group that come at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning is phenomenal. Ladies, I take notice of these things, okay? I'm watching. I know what you're up to. All right, so the next one is noise. Like, if you can't make your bedroom as quiet as possible because you've got traffic, noisy neighbours, snoring partner, think about trying some earplugs. Or, you can try white noise or soothing music. This can mask those irritating sounds. So you just want to keep the volume low, so at that low sort of level, so you're not waking yourself up as well. Alrighty, next up, keep it cool. So an elevated core body temperature, as we sort of said, this is associated with insomnia. So if your bedroom is too warm, and it's warm enough to raise your body temperature, this will make it harder to fall asleep. And also you're likely to experience a decrease in the quality of your sleep as well. So we want to aim for a comfortably cool room, and this helps you fall asleep and also enter those deep stages of sleep. So ideally around 20 degrees if you're able to control the temperature of your room. And if you are suffering with hot flushes and night sweats, this is a little bit trickier. So we want to use like light layered bed clothing, so you can peel layers on rather than kick off a great big doona and then you're cold and then the doona's on and the doona's off. Having those like light layers, can help a lot. All right, I'm going to go there. Alcohol, just in case you needed another reason to lose the booze. Alcohol has been shown to negatively affect sleep. So while we think we're drinking to relax and wind down a bit, when we've got hot flushes, night sweats, sleep apnea, snoring, disrupted sleep patterns, it's all exacerbated by drinking, okay? So, obviously I want you to have a life. I want you to, not feel like the end is nigh. So if you do choose to have a drink, what we want to ideally do, limit it to 1 or 2 days of the week and keep it to 1 or 2 drinks. And try, if you can, have a break of at least 2 hours before bedtime, just to give your body a chance to recover. Okay, so caffeine is another one. We all know, it's not rocket science there, but it's all too easy though, if we haven't had a good night's sleep, to reach for that big, large double shot latte to pick us up the next day, only for it to then, affect our sleep, making us crave more of it the next day, affecting our sleep, and so it goes on. So if you aren't willing to give up your morning coffee, and, okay, I'll put my hand up. I'm not loving the idea of that either, but if sleep is an issue for you, try and stick to just 1 single shot. And ideally, we want it around 10 a.m. So this is our cortisol levels are high when we first wake up in the morning. We want to, have them start to drop. This is the ideal time to have coffee. and always after breakfast. Okay, so this is going to have, less of an impact on your adrenals and on your stress hormones, or, opt out, or in the afternoon, go for sort of herbal teas. Rooibos tea is naturally caffeine free. And just be mindful, in the afternoon and the evening of the caffeine that's in green teas, black teas, and also, ladies, in chocolate. Okay, so exercise during the day can definitely help us sleep better at night. It also helps with stress. It helps with our overall mood and, just general health. But if we're exercising at night, it can stimulate our body. So what we want to do, if the only time you can fit in your exercise is in the evening, go for something that's restorative, something meditative like yoga, tai chi. These are all really good options here. Now, try and stick to a schedule. So your body's like one giant unconscious clock. So we want to go to bed around the same time every night. Now, this can help you in the long term fall asleep faster and sleep better. And having that, we want to create that consistent sleep-wake cycle. So we're conditioning your body and, result in better energy during the day and a better sleep at night. So just like we had to train our babies when they were little, we had to train our babies to sleep through the night. We also need to train ourselves to sleep through the night. So when we're in the pattern, when we're in a schedule, like a bit of a routine, this certainly helps. So, if you sort of set yourself up with a bedtime routine, and this is letting your body know that it's time to go to sleep. So having a warm shower, having a cup of herbal tea, reading or listening to a meditation, these are all really good sort of sleepy options. So this means no binge watching Netflix until all hours. So Netflix isn't going anywhere. We can always catch that up on the weekend, all right? And then when we're in the throes of the, time ticking over at 2, 3, 4 a.m., when you're tossing and turning, it can be really easy for your mind to wander, keeping you awake. Now, if you've got what I call like a busy brain and, you wake up in the middle of the night, your brain is go and you've got 1,000 things to think about, grab a piece of paper and a pen and just write it all down. It doesn't need to make sense, doesn't need to be a to-do list. We're doing a brain dump out of your brain onto a piece of paper. Okay, so, and then what I want you to do, go back to bed and focus on your breath, and I want you to relax, and we want to make sure that out breath is longer than the in breath. So what I mean by that is let's breathe in. So let's do it now. Okay, breathe in for 4. Hold for 2 and breathe out for 5. Okay, then breathe in for 5. Hold for 3. Breathe out for 6. Okay, and what this does is this helps relax and calm that nervous system. So have a play around with what works for you. Try a meditation app to help you drift off to sleep, particularly if you struggle going back to sleep. There's some really good free ones. So Insight Timer is one of my favorite ones. Buddhify is really good. Balance is another great one. Okay, so then a couple more things to try. So think about beautifying your bedroom, all right? So your sleeping environment has a big impact on how easily you relax and fall asleep. So if your room is clean, clutter-free, minimal noise, minimal light, if we can do this wherever we can, that's great. And, ideally we're spending at least 8 hours a night in our beds. So it's worth investing in some, nice, fresh sheets or, washing your sheets, hanging them on the line, drying them in the sunshine. So, it feels inviting and luxurious when you get into bed. So probably also a good time to assess, do you have the right pillow? Do you have the right mattress? If that's making you feel uncomfortable, and you're not getting a good night's sleep, it is 100% worth investing in decent bedwear because, like I said, 8 hours a night, every single night in your bed, you want it to be the right thing. Okay, so the next one is natural sunlight. So sunlight does wonders for our body, especially our circadian rhythm. So if you can, first thing in the morning when you get up, if you can get outside, have a look at the sunshine, take your sunglasses off, look at the sun without sunglasses as early as possible in the morning, this signals your brain that it's daytime, it's time to wake up. So then, it sort of supports that circadian rhythm that we talked about earlier. Even if you can, get out for a walk on your lunch break or even just eating your lunch outside, this exposure to natural light helps improve your daytime energy and also helps you get to sleep faster at night. Now, in terms of supplements, I always get asked, there's lots of different herbal supplements out there. A good quality magnesium supplement at bedtime can help. This helps relax our muscles, relax our nervous system, which, then promotes relaxation and sleep. We want to aim for like a decent sort of dosage is 300 to 400 milligrams. And my preferred form of magnesium is in a biglycinate. Okay, so not the citrate, not the orotate, not all, some of those cheaper ones, but, the decent biglycinate. Epsom salts are also a form of magnesium. So, having an Epsom salt bath can help, or even just, soaking your feet in Epsom salts can help, and this sort of helps relax your whole body. Lavender is, beautiful essential oil that can promote relaxation, alleviate insomnia, just a few drops of lavender oil on your pillow or, through a diffuser if that's safe to leave on overnight. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. And, while you still need all these good sleep habits, and I've given you some great tips there to get started, if you are struggling to get a good night's sleep, it is definitely worth looking at the causes. So I've given you some of those reasons why we wake up, because by investigating the cause, this is going to help you create a lasting and more effective solution so you can get a good night's sleep every single night. And if you would like some help, I am here to help. You are most welcome to book in for a hormone help call. This is where we can have a chat about what's going on for you specifically. And, if you want to find out more about the Well Balanced Woman program, which is our 12-week signature program, we can certainly chat about that. I can answer any questions you've got, because sleep is certainly something that we address in the Well Balanced Woman program, because like I said before, you get a good night's sleep, everything is better. All right, my loves, I hope this has been helpful, and happy good night, nighty nights to you. Have a good night's sleep, everyone. Bye for now. Thank you for taking the time to listen today. You can head on over to the show notes at kyliepinwell.com/podcast, where you'll find all the links, and I have a little bonus surprise waiting for you. Before we go, it would mean the world to me if you head on over to your favourite podcasts channel, subscribe and leave a review. Make sure to screenshot it, DM it to me so I can thank you personally. Then stay tuned for next week's episode. Can't wait to see you then.